Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fans and families, followers and friends. Last 2 weeks, I said in my life that I was gonna be reading my poems to you guys. I have hundreds of poems that I wrote based on life experience, and today I'm gonna be reading one, just one. Okay, so this poem's title is "The Little Farmer." The Little Farmer. The Little Farmer is the character in this poem. And in this poem, I used two figurative languages. I use metaphor and I use personification. So when we go over the poem, then I'm gonna explain where I use the metaphor and the personification. And for the settings, I use the farm and the morning. Now, listen carefully to my poem. The little farmer, he knows it was the fifth moon and all the land became greener. Before the sun said his good morning to the earth, and before he set feet on the ground, he said his prayer. He sang hallelujah and gave thanks and praise to the highest. The road was desert. His best friends were the woods and the birds that were singing in the foggy morning. And the birds that were singing in the foggy morning, they comforted him as he walked along the path. He walked bravely like a soldier, 20 miles on training day. He rested for a few minutes and took the herd to the pasture on the foggy land. The dew on the green grass wetted their feet before the sun wiped them out. The dew on the green grass wetted their feet before the sun wiped it out for the herd to consume at their ease. When the sun became brighter, the little brave called upon the herd, and the pasture was over. He was little, but a great shepherd. Little like a nurse, he watched the pregnant away and took her to the barn. When he saw the baby lamb coming out, he pulled him out carefully and welcomed the baby lamb and wiped his slimy body, the body covered of white hair. White, like the first snow in the winter. For the sun was fresh, with half open eyes. He had more tasks to complete. He jumped on the hoe and cultivates the soil till the horizon announced the crepuscle, a signal to the sunset. A signal to the sunset. Except in the farm, no one almost has ever seen him, for he farms every day. Before the sun said his good evening to the earth planet, he departed, and the pasture and his task was over. This is the poem. That's the end of it. And now we're gonna go over the explanation. So here the metaphor is, I use the sun, right? The sun does not speak. So I said the sun said his good morning to the earth. What does that mean? So when the sun rises and the sky becomes clearer and clearer, that's what I mean by the sun saying his good morning to the earth. So that's a metaphor because the sun does not speak, right? And I use personification because the sun is not a person. The sun is not a person. The sun does not walk. The sun does not talk. So I personify the sun in this poem. And for the setting, like y'all can hear, I use the farm as the first place. And when did the action happen? Or when does the action happen in the poem? Everything happens in the morning. And then in the evening. So the setting, time is morning and the evening, and the place is the farm and the pasture. Thank you very much.